Okay, let's talk about the 10,000-hour rule. We've all heard it, right? It's that magic number for becoming great at something. It sounds so simple, but what if that number is, well, a myth? And what if the real secret to getting good at something is way more interesting?
You know, the rule got really famous from the book Outliers, and even big proponents like Bill Gates are quick to point out that there's more to it. He says it needs persistence and cycles of practice. He's basically hinting that how you practice is just as important as for how long.
And it turns out that's a huge hint, because when you actually dig into the original research that inspired the 10,000-hour rule, it tells a completely different story, and honestly, a much more powerful one. Understanding that is the real key.
So first, let's just get this out of the way and talk about why that magic number is so misleading. The psychologist who did the original study, a guy named Anders Ericsson, never actually talked about a universal rule. For him, it was always just an average.
And when you look at his actual data, you see the problem right away. The very best violinists? Yeah, they'd put in about 7,400 hours, not 10,000. And when you look at other fields, the number's all over the place. The idea that there's one magic number for everything, it just doesn't work.
Okay, so if it's not about the sheer quantity of hours, then what is it? What really separates the practice that works from just, spinning your wheels? Well, it all comes down to a single idea: practicing with purpose.
See, most of us, when we practice something, we're doing what the researchers call naive practice. You're just repeating the same thing over and over, hoping you'll magically get better. But purposeful practice, that's a whole different game. It's focused, it's systematic, and it's designed to push you. And it's got 4 essential parts. You need super specific goals, not just, I want to get better. You need to be totally focused, no distractions. You need to know right away if what you're doing is working, and this is the big one. You have to be pushing yourself just outside your comfort zone. If it's not a little hard, you're probably not improving.
And there's this incredible story that shows how powerful this is. It's about a college student named Steve Falloon. He took part in this experiment on short-term memory, and what happened next is just wild.
So when Steve started, he was totally normal. He could remember a string of about 7 random numbers, like a phone number. Pretty average.
But then he started using these purposeful practice techniques. He developed strategies, pushed himself every single time, and after just a few weeks, bam, he could remember 20 digits.
He kept at it. After about 100 sessions, he was remembering 40 digits. I mean, at this point, he was way past what anybody thought was even possible for human short-term memory.
And he still didn't stop. After 2 years, Steve Falloon, this average college student, could hear a random sequence of 82 digits and just repeat them back perfectly. The takeaway is amazing. He wasn't born with a super brain. He built one.
Steve's journey from 7 digits to 82 is more than just a cool story. It's the perfect example of the absolute best way to practice. It's what we could call the gold standard for becoming a world-class expert at anything.
And the official name for this is deliberate practice. You can basically think of it as purposeful practice, but with a turbocharger. This is what you see in fields like chess, or music, or sports, where you have an expert coach who knows exactly how to guide you and give you that critical feedback.
Now, you might be thinking this is all just about mental tricks, but it goes so much deeper than that. This kind of intense, focused training literally, physically changes your brain.
And if you want the absolute best proof of this, just look at the brains of London's black cab drivers. To get their license, they have to pass this ridiculously hard test that's known simply as the knowledge.
To pass this thing, they spend years, literally years, just driving around the city memorizing this insane mental map of London. We're talking 25,000 streets, 20,000 landmarks. It is an unbelievable feat of memory.
So of course, scientists got curious. They wanted to know, what does years of that kind of intense mental training actually do to a brain? So they brought in MRI scanners and compared the brains of the drivers who passed the test to those who didn't. And what they found was stunning.
It's just like how your bicep grows if you lift weights. For these cab drivers, the part of their brain that handles spatial memory, the hippocampus, it had literally grown bigger, denser. Their brains had physically rewired themselves to be amazing at navigating.
So what does all this mean for us? Well, it basically flips everything we've ever been told about ideas like talent and potential completely upside down.
The science is pretty clear on this. Greatness isn't some genetic lottery you win at birth. It's not about trying to reach some predetermined limit. It's about actually building that potential yourself through the right kind of work.
So when you boil it all down, the message is just incredibly empowering. We now know that just putting in time isn't enough. It's the method that changes everything. And that method physically rewires our brains, which means talent isn't a gift you're given, it's a process that you control.
This really gets to the heart of it. The old idea was that you're born with a certain amount of potential, like a cup, and you spend your life just trying to fill it. But this research shows that the right kind of practice actually makes the cup bigger. We're not just filling our potential, we are building it.
Realizing that puts all the power, and yeah, all the responsibility, right in our hands. Which leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? If you can build your own abilities, what potential are you going to choose to create?